Blimey, it's a bit chilly today, girls. Wow. This is 2 days after I made the first bit of this video because decorator shopping, supermarket shopping, not pleasurable, nice things shopping. Super Saturday Parliament, it's just been a nightmare. Well, not been a nightmare, but it's been really busy. Decorator hasn't finished, he's done 2 days work, there's another 3 days work to do, but he can't do it now because my husband's back at the nights, and it's like, oh, don't even ask. Anyway, and it's difficult because Paul works nights, I get that, for the tradesmen, you know. Anyway, enough of that. So I've unpicked that, as you know, and I've been and titivated these. I absolutely love these. When I was on holiday in Sweden, I went in a museum called the Nordiska Museum, and you might have seen some pictures on Instagram, those of you on Instagram, of what was in the museum, and there were some very small, what they were called baptism tokens, and they were like mini works of art, and I thought, how can you make something that small with so much detail? And these are nowhere near that, but these are kind of what I would imagine would be the early stages if I wanted to make something like that. So this has got the brain tick in this. So I've done titivated all the layers of each one, and it does give them more depth, and that's caught on a bead, I think. Well, I might have actually stitched that together by accident, but I'm not going to unpick it now. But anyway, they've got depth. They're so interesting. I just love them. I think they're really lovely. Earrings, can you imagine? And no, I'm not going to start making earrings for a living. I couldn't do that. So the next stage is a sharp needle and some cotton embroider, which I've already got, fortunately, from last night. But I'm not in this. Because now we're going to put them in this button. Right, I'm going to have as small a tail as possible. I've got no sleeves on today, but I've got short sleeves. Maybe I need to go and get my cardigan, I'm chittered. So what you need to do is put them right sides together. Okay, so what I also did was at the top where all the thin layers met, you know, that I worked lower down so that I kept this area thin. I secured that again with a lot more running stitch, like basting. So I'll put the top layers together. I'm actually thinking it might be an idea to maybe trim these so they're a bit just like this. Just might make it easier to get them in. Just cut the corners off. And I've got a rubbish bag now, it's hanging on the leg of the camera. On the arm of the camera, sorry. Right, so right sides together, and then it might actually be an idea to stitch those together. I'll use this cotton embroider, it won't matter because you won't see it. But if I stitch these together as well now, right sides together, then that should stop them shifting as I'm trying to push them in this space. Okay. Now part of me is thinking I've really done this the most awkward way around, and I've been asking myself, could I have done this before I put the silk on the button? And you know what, I could have done, but the reason I haven't done is because I know that I'd be coming to this stage to gather my silk around the button, and these would just make that so much harder. So that's why I haven't. So that's why I've done it this way, and hopefully this way will work. I mean, this went in yesterday, didn't it? So there's no reason it shouldn't go in today. In fact, I think once you get the first bit in, that actually raises the silk, so it, in theory, makes it easier to get the rest of it in. Says she. Not gone in yet, has it? So start with your thinnest section. It'll work, because if it doesn't work, I've got like an hour's worth nearly of videos here that are going to be defunct and useless. It will go, it will go. And now I'm actually thinking, it is going, just slowly. Get in, get in, get in. Get in. I feel like I'm at a football match. And now I'm wondering if this seam here, the top seam that I folded over, maybe if I put a little bit of cord in that, you know, like I did around the edge of those circular buttons, that might have made it easier. So it is in there, I just don't know if it's in enough, I guess, because I need to stitch it in a minute. So I guess the only way to find out, right, so it's in, it's actually in. It wasn't a doddle, but it wasn't difficult. So if I do that, then I know it's in enough. Oh, what's happened there? So that goes over there actually. All got tangled up. So there. So there you have a very, very ornate button. So what you need to do now, I'll put another knot in this because I used it for that thing, is stitch into this seam, okay? So I have a small tail, don't have a massive tail. Now, I say this is an ornate button, so what I'm going to do is go through the lace, but not right to the front because I don't want it showing on the front, and then through the edge of that seam of the button, trying to catch all of that lace, the top bit anyway, this bit, and being very careful. That's it, yeah. So I'm coming through there, which isn't very good, is it? So you're going to have to keep an eye on where you're coming up. If you kind of try at the very edge, okay, the very edge of the fold over on the button, right, don't go out the camera line, Karen. Go under with your needle before you go through the lace and catch the lace that's underneath the fold over. And it doesn't really matter how much of a dog's dinner this is along here because you're not going to see it anyway. So don't worry about that. So now I'm going to go through the actual seam and do it that way. A long ways. To try and catch it all. Just whatever works for you. The best way of catching it without catching all the layers together by accident. Okay. And do it again. Now I think that's secure, I really do think that's secure. So just go through again, put your needle through the loop and pull it, and that'll form a knot. And then go through again and pull it out anywhere, just to get rid of your end. Now I'm going to need some more copper border. I hope I brought some. I brought my little tray, but I didn't check if my border was on it. Just give me a second, bear with me. I mean, I guess I could use gussamen, but I need cotton broader, not gussamen, but this stuff. But I need broader anyway. Do you know what? I've taken it off my little tray to use it last night, and I've forgotten to put it back on. Because it ain't here. It ain't. Oh yeah, I've got some here. That's alright. But it's not enough, I don't think, for what I need today. I'll have to go and get some when I've done this video. Right. So I'll thread my needle. So you might not use this as a button, because I mean, can you imagine trying to push this through a buttonhole? But it's decorative. Be lovely on the edge of a bag, or on the edge of a cloth or something, you know. A lot of these, can you imagine? So I pull them over, and that's the biggest side, and this is, then they kind of want to splay a bit, and that's alright by me, I don't mind that. This one I think is a little bit thin at the top. So I'm going to try and just pull it up a little bit, and by that I mean just fold it back on itself slightly there to make that heavier there where they meet, okay? And then I'm going to go under here with my needle and through the silk that's on the top of the button and come up there. Oh, I didn't put a knot in it, did I? It'd actually be nice in your hair as well. Although your hair would probably get caught around all the bling. Let's try again. So because what's probably happened there is that piece hasn't been pushed in as much as this piece. So I want to make it a bit denser. So I'm just folding it back on itself like that a little bit. Going in the silk, but underneath so you can't see the knot. come up wherever you come up. Fat fingers don't help. Right, and then literally just a couple of tiny over stitches to hold them together. Those two pieces at the top. Might have been better to do it with this because it'll definitely not be visible, but it's not visible anyway. But that's worth bearing in mind. And again, just pull it up a little bit so you're kind of like sculpting it into the shape you want. So through there, come up there. So that's that. So now I need to go back and come up somewhere where I've got space to work to finish this off. All this is invisible, you can't see this thread at all. So now just do a couple of over stitches here. Unfortunately, the over stitches are being worked next to a large area of white anyway, and that circular motif on there, so you can't see them. And then just put the needle through again. Put the needle through the loop. And just put it in and bring it out anywhere so that your end is concealed underneath. So I mean, the uses for this, I mean, that's the button shank is there so it hangs like that, okay, but they are decorative. I mean, if you imagine maybe if you do it that way, it's like a bow. It's like the most ornate bow you'll ever find. But now what you will need to do, what I would advise you do, I don't know that you need to do this because I've never made these before, but what I think I'm going to need to do, again with my broader and a knot, is just secure it at the edges so it doesn't do that and look hideous. So if I go under there, so my knot is in there, like that, and then put it down and just come up anywhere really, just to secure it at the side. Okay, and then go back down and take my needle right the way, and I'm going through that space silk as well with my needle, right the way through to come up this side. I'm trying to think if I've got anything that I could, I can't get that out, I need my tweezers. I should have perhaps used a longer needle. Thought I'd tell you. Oh, I don't want to come out. It's really difficult. I might take it out and put a longer needle on. Oh, there you go. So and then bring it through there. And do the same on this side through this base silk that's on the button. Just come up anywhere again. So really when you're doing this bit, use a long needle, a longer needle than I'm using. What I'm going to do here, I'm not doing over stitches because there's some buttonhole lace there and I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to do a Henrietta knot there and then just put it back in and bring it out anywhere just to catch that tail. Okay, so the tail's hidden underneath now. So that's secure on there now, that's not going to lift. So I need to do the same the other side. Although the other side actually isn't lifting too much anyway. Oh, I love it. Just trying to think of the applications for it. Well, it's just decorative, isn't it? So I think it would look lovely on a pillow, but I'm trying to think if I've got a pillow that I could show you. I don't think I have. I've got pillows obviously, but they're all... I think a plain pillow would be nice for this because then it would really stand out. I'll have a look when I've done this video. I'll go and get my cotton broader and then I'll have a look for a pillow. I'm just looking around me in here if there's anything in here. No, can't see anything. I mean, I've got this pillow but it's not very big, it wouldn't probably. So that's the back. It's only small, this one. But well, yeah, there you go. So it's a way of adorning the back of a pillow. If that was on there like that, with these going over the edges, if it wasn't that gingham button, yeah, I think that would work. It's like a big bow, it's lovely. I suppose it's a good way of making a very ornate bow. Right, so this side, which side am I doing? This side. So through the silk again, with the knot. Although this side didn't necessarily need it as much as the other side. And then come up there. Down, and I'm again going through the silk at the side, at the underneath. Like that. And then coming up through the actual work. And again, just do a Henrietta knot because I don't want to disturb this work. Go back down, come out wherever, pull it tight, and cut that tail off. And there, so that's that, and I absolutely love it. And I was, just let me get all this debris up with masking tape. And I was stitching on these while I was watching Boris yesterday. So that I love it. I love it. It's a bow. It's not a button really, is it? It's a bow. But a very lovely bow. So there's that one. Love it. Beads are falling off it all the time. That's what happens. I like to keep these because they're nice, these beads. Put them on there. But another one's fell off. It happens because you're cutting through beaded fabric. It's gone under there. It's what happens. Don't worry about that if it happens with you. So that on there. Now I've got another pillow in here, but it's a bit... Just a minute. Well, actually, oh, I love it. I love it. So that's that on that one. Let me pull it out of it. This one, that's that side, so it would look silly, right? But the back's plain. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, maybe you think, get over yourself, it's rubbish, never going to make that. What a lot of faffing about and palaver for nothing. But I love it. I love it. I think it's really lovely. Oh yeah, that's amazing. Wouldn't work on that side. Too much going on. Well, then I guess it would work on that side before all the pins were in there. Yeah. So I hope you like it. It's just something a bit different. Just something a bit different. I like it anyway. And I know that's not the main thing. It's not about what I like. I guess it's about what you like. You are the important people here. Right, so I made a little video about the hexagon thingy that I haven't finished yet, so I'm going to now turn off and make that one about the hexagon, about the charm pillow. Okie doke.